Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13062, the people versus Deontay Lamar Carlock. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, can I have you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, you are under oath. Please state your full name for the record and you may proceed when you're ready.
Detective Jeff Motta, M-O-T-T-A. Your Honor, in reference to Oak Park case number 24-1854 on February 16, 2024, Oak Park officers were dispatched to a Rite Aid located at the city of Oak Park. Officers were advised that a retail fraud had just occurred. Officers were advised that a black male wearing a red jacket and a reflector vest stole items from the store and was now walking southbound from the store. Officers arrived on scene and observed a subject, later identified as Deontay Carlock, in the parking lot. Officers made contact with Mr. Carlock and ordered him to stop. Mr. Carlock did not comply and began running westbound away from the officers. Officers pursued Mr. Carlock and eventually took him into custody. Mr. Carlock was searched and found, and multiple items from the store were found on his person. The total cost of those items was $196.81. While in custody, Mr. Carlock waived his rights and agreed to speak to me. Mr. Carlock stated that he went into the store with the intention to steal the items. Mr. Carlock stated he was going to eat the food and sell the other items. He stated he needed money so he could buy drugs. Mr. Carlock admitted that he heard the officers order him to stop when he was running away. Mr. Carlock has a prior retail fraud third conviction from July 2022 out of the 46th District Court in Southfield. I'm asking, Your Honor, that you approve and sign the warrant for Deontay Carlock for retail fraud second degree.
All right. Court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charge. I'm signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else you'd like to note regarding bond?
Sir, just that he has an, where I had it right here. A couple warrants for larceny out of Detroit, or one out of Detroit, multiple failure to appear warrants, and a long history of other larceny crimes. He did note in my interview, sir, that he does suffer from drug addiction, mostly crack cocaine. So those are things that I'd like you to take into consideration when considering bond, sir.
Okay. All right. I will certainly make a note of that. I have 3 arraignments that I have to do over in West Bloomfield really quick. And then our attorney will log in to do Mr. Carlock's arraignment.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13062, the people versus Deontay Lamar Carlock. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mr. Carlock. Judge, I did have a chance to meet with Mr. Carlock. I did advise him of his rights, as well as the charges against him and the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Waive the reading, stand and mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Carlock. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Yes.
All right. Counsel, as it relates to bond, what would you like to state on behalf of your client?
My client's 47 years of age. He's a lifelong resident of the Detroit area. Unfortunately, he's unemployed right now. He does do some odd jobs. He does have 2 children. He has strong ties to the community. He's not on probation or parole that I'm aware of. He does have some medical issues going on. He has a doctor's appointment Monday, Judge, that he really needs to get to. I'm asking the court to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
All right. Do we have a detective or anybody else on with us?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm right here, Detective Mata.
Okay, Detective, anything else you want to state regarding bond?
Like I said earlier, he does have several failure to appear warrants and a lengthy history of larceny as well. He did state that he does have some drug addiction problems that I'd like you to take into consideration as well. He also has some outstanding warrants for larceny as well, sir. But that is all.
Some warrants. Where the warrants came out? I completed them.
There's still, we'll talk about it.
Man, that's crazy. Cause I posted bond on them. Warrant. I sat in the county jail for them, posted bond, and how can I have warrants?
I don't know.
All right, well, I will note that I did conduct a swear to on this earlier this morning. I do see numerous prior convictions involving retail fraud, 2022, disorderly person in 2023. Numerous other convictions dating back to, looks like 1997. Looks like there's an outstanding warrant out of Georgia. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the 36th District Court, 1 out of the 24th District Court in Ellen Park, and 1 out of the 46th District Court in Southfield. So, given Mr. Carlock's prior criminal history and prior failure to appear history, I do not think that a personal bond is warranted. I'm going to order bond in the amount of $20,000 cash or surety. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You are not to return to any Rite Aid location. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. I'm sorry, I will allow a 10% provision on that. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Mr. Carlock, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yeah.
All right. I do not have your next court date in front of me. So if you are able to post bond, make sure you call the 45th District Court in Oak Park and find out when your next court date is. Otherwise, that is all for today. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, Mr. Carlock, you can step on here.
Oh man, I ain't even understand. It's $20,000.
It's 10%, so it's 2,000. It's just saying that if you do post bond.
All right. Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do we have a detective on with us?
Officer Wilson, sir.
All right, officer, are you going to conduct the swear-tos for Mr. Brown and Ms. Smith?
Um,
Oh, I'm sorry. Looks like Mr. Brown's already been sworn to. Ms. Smith is not, though.
we have a detective in the other room on Zoom who just got a phone call who will be conducting the swear-to for Ms. Smith.
Okay.
Detective Hayes.
Did you say he's going to call in?
He's already waiting in on Zoom. He just got a phone call from somebody saying that he's going to be on shortly.
Okay. I just don't have him in the waiting room yet. So
Hold on. I have him right here. So if we have to do it on this, then we can probably do it right after this.
whatever works.
Wait. How are you? So he's right here. So if he has to do it here after we're done with this one, then he can do it.
Okay. Whichever you prefer. Detective, do you want to just do the swear to on Ms. Smith really quick, and then we'll move forward with the arraignments?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13060, the people versus Mary Ann Smith. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, can I have you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Do.
All right, you're under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Detective Hayes, West Bloomfield Police Department. On February 16, 2024, just prior to 4 p.m., West Bloomfield Police Department officers Gosser and Miller were dispatched to Henry Ford Hospital, West Bloomfield, for a larceny in a building complaint. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Christy Cross, the victim, who advised her wallet dropped out of her pocket while in the waiting room at the hospital awaiting her appointment. During her appointment, she realized the wallet was missing, searched for it after her appointment, and was unsuccessful in locating it. At this time, she called police. Henry Ford Hospital, West Bloomfield Police Authority Sergeant Hawkinen reviewed video surveillance of the waiting room and captured a female patient, later identified as Mary Smith, picking up Christie's clearly visible wallet from the waiting room and putting it in her pocket. Hospital staff were able to positively identify Mary from the video and the corresponding information from her appointment time. It was discovered Mary resides in Highland, Michigan. Oakland County Sheriff's Office was contacted to assist in making contact with Mary. They did so successfully, took her into custody, and transported her back to West Bloomfield Police Department. Upon arrival, she spoke with Officer Gosser and confessed to taking the wallet. She added that before taking the wallet and searching, she added that after taking the wallet and searching its contents, she left it in the bathroom at the hospital. The bathrooms were searched, but the wallet was never recovered. A review of Mary's criminal history revealed the following convictions, all out of state. A petty larceny out of Niskayuna County in New York on February 8th of 95. A retail theft out of Upper Marion Township Police Department in Pennsylvania on August 3rd of 87. 2 counts of theft out of Evansville Police Department and the Warwick County Sheriff's Office on June 6th of 98. And felony receiving and concealing stolen property and theft out of Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office, both of the latter in Indiana on April 25th of 2001. Presented this case to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office, and a 1-count complaint warrant was issued for larceny in a building.
All right, the court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charge. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else you'd like to know regarding bond?
It appears she has established residency here in Michigan, in Highland. So for any proceedings, unless there is a flight risk out of state, as she has seemed to have moved around, I have nothing further. She's been cooperative to the entire process.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you, Detective. I appreciate you doing that really quick. Obviously, if you want to join us for any of these arraignments, you're welcome to, but we'll get started with these now.
All right, thank you.
And, you know, he's had.
All right.
And
good morning, sir. What is your name?
You, sir.
Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. Kevin Sundstrom.
No problem. No problem at all. Now calling ticket number 24WB00339, the people versus Kevin Paul Sundstrom. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mr. Sundstrom, Judge. I did have a chance to meet with Mr. Sundstrom. I advised him of his rights. I also advised him of the charges against him, as well as the maximum penalties. We'd ask that you waive the reading stand and meet his charge. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing, Judge.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Sundstrom. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. I see that you stated you make $10,000 per month. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and I see the mortgage payment. Do you have any other fixed expenses per month?
Yes, Your Honor. Car payments, student loans, insurance.
June 6th of 98, and felony receiving and concealing stolen property and theft out of Vanderburgh County Sheriff's Office, both of the latter in Indiana on April 25th of 2001. Presented this case to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office, and a 1-count complaint warrant was issued for larceny in a building.
All All right, the court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charge. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else you'd like to know regarding bond?
It appears she has a established residency here in Michigan, in Highland. So for any proceedings, unless there is a flight risk out of state, as she has seemed to have moved around, I have nothing further. She's been cooperative through the entire process.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you, Detective. I appreciate you doing that really quick. Obviously, if you want to join us for any of these arraignments, you're welcome to, but we'll get started with these now.
All right, thank you.
And, you know, he's had.
All right.
And
good morning, sir. What is your name?
You, sir. Oh, my apologies, Your Honor. Kevin Sundstrom.
No problem. No problem at all. Now calling ticket number 24 WB00339, the people versus Kevin Paul Sundstrom. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mr. Sundstrom, Judge. I did have a chance to meet with Mr. Sundstrom. I advised him of his rights. I also advised him of the charges against him, as well as the maximum penalties. We'd ask that you waive the reading stand and meet his charge. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing, Judge.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Sundstrom. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. I see that you stated you make $10,000 per month. Is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, and I see the mortgage payment. Do you have any other fixed expenses per month?
Yes, Your Honor. Car payments, student loans, insurance, car insurance, you name it.
All right, so at the end of the month, what would you say, just estimate, your net money remaining is?
Zero.
All right. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent then, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Counsel, as relates to bond, what took the state on behalf of Mr. Sundstrom?
Judge, my client's 38 years of age. He has 2 children. He's a strong member of the community. I don't believe he has any criminal history. He is employed. He's going through a divorce with respect to the alleged complainant in this matter. Judge, I'm asking for a personal bond or a nominal cash bond. If you're not going to let him return to the house, Judge, he will need a one-time police assist to pick up his personal belongings. And I also ask that you would order a third party facilitate any visitation, Judge.
All right. And officer, is there anything you'd like to state regarding bond?
I'll leave that up to the discretion of the court, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sundstrom, do you have any prior criminal history?
No, Your Honor, besides probably being arrested for public intox in college.
I didn't see anything on his CCH, Your Honor.
I never, nothing.
All right. Well, obviously this is a domestic violence charge, which is assaultive in nature, and I do have to look out for the safety of the public. I do not think that you are a flight risk, but given the nature of the allegations, I don't think that a personal bond is warranted. What I'm going to do is order a bond in the amount of $500, cash or surety. So, Mr. Sundstrom, you just have to post $500 to be released. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You are to have no contact with Brianna Sundstrom or any other witness. You are not to return to. I do understand that is your residence, so I will allow you to go back there one time with a police officer, but after that, you'll have to reside elsewhere. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten Brianna Sundstrom or any other witness. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. What that means is within 24 hours of your release, or Monday at the earliest, if you postpone today, you need to contact the 48th District Court in Bloomfield Hills and let them know the new address that you're going to be residing at. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. And lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity.
Judge?
Mr. Sundstrom, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
I do.
Okay. Counsel, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you, Judge. With respect to the visitation of his children, is there anyone who could have a third party supervise that?
Yeah, Mr. Sundstrom, you're going to have a third party facilitate any custody issues that you have with your children or visitation issues. But like I said, you're not to have any contact with Brianna. So you're going to have to find either a family member, a friend, or somebody that can help be the third party facilitator for that. Do you understand that?
I do.
Okay. All right.
Thank you,
I don't have your next court date in front of me. So when you call to provide your new address to the court, make sure you find out when your court date is. Otherwise, that is all for today. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Do you have any preference who you like next, Your Honor?
Whoever's fine, officer. Thank you.
Okay.
Officer? I can make that phone.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13060, the People versus Mary Ann Smith. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mary Ann Smith for today's hearing. I did meet with her. I did advise Ms. Smith of her rights. I also advised her of the charges against her, as well as the maximum penalties, Your Honor. She will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Waive any reading, standard immune is charged.
All right. The court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Ms. Smith. I'm just trying to find the request for court-appointed counsel form. Give me 1 second here.
Yes, sir.
For some reason, I cannot find it. Ms. Smith, did you fill out a request for court-appointed attorney form?
I don't think so.
You did.
I did.
I have it right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I just don't have it in front of me. So a couple quick questions. Are you currently employed?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
No, sir.
No. Okay. All right. What was the last employment that you held?
It's probably in 2000.
Okay. All right. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Counsel, as it relates to the bond, what would you like to state on behalf of your client?
My client's a long-term resident. She's been living at her current residence for the last 12 years. Lifelong resident of the area. She's has 4 grown children, Judge. She's basically a retired homemaker. She's not on probation or parole that I'm aware of, Judge. I'm asking you to consider, I don't think she's a flight risk. I'm asking you to consider a personal bond or a nominal bond. She understands she's not going to be able to go back to Henry Ford Hospital.
All right. And officer, anything else you'd like to state regarding bond?
I'll leave that to the discretion of the court, Your Honor.
Well, I did conduct a swear-to on this just a few minutes ago. We'll know it looks like Ms. Smith has a few prior convictions involving theft, although I will note appears that they're approximately 20 years old. I do not see any prior failure to appear history, and it does not look like Ms. Smith is on probation or parole. So I don't think that Ms. Smith is a flight risk, and I am going to give a personal bond, but that bond's going to be in the amount of $10,000 personal recognizance. So Ms. Smith, you do not have to post any money, and you will be released today, but know if you fail to abide by any of your bond conditions, that bond could be forfeited and you may owe $10,000 to the court. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, your other bond conditions are as follows. You will have no contact with Christy Lee Krause. You will not return to West Bloomfield Henry Ford Hospital. You shall personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. I am placing you under pretrial services supervision, which means because you're posting bond or personal bond, you have to contact pretrial services within 24 hours of your release. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you received later this morning. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. So Ms. Smith, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Your next court date, your probable cause conference is currently scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 48th District Court in Bloomfield.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Ms. Smith, that's all for today. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-11706, the People versus Norman Lester Brown. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mr. Brown. I did meet with him. I did advise him of his rights as well as the charges against him, as well as the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Judge, I'd ask that you recall and set aside the warrant, waive any reading, stand and be discharged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Brown. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Counsel, as relates to bond, what would you like to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. My client's 32 years of age. He has one child. He has a job waiting. He's not on probation or parole. He has a job waiting for him a rider as a truck driver here locally as a truck driver. He got picked up on a traffic stop, Judge. He wasn't aware that this case was outstanding. He had no idea about it, Judge. He will appear as directed. I'm asking for a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
All right, officer, anything you'd like to say regarding bond?
I'll leave that to the discretion of the court, Your Honor. I do see an extensive CCH, just so you're aware. I'm not sure if you have it in front of you.
That's what I was just pulling up here. Looks like I don't have all of the information in front of me. What prior convictions does Mr. Brown have, officer?
I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
You're okay, take your time.
So it looks like in 2015, let me see, disposition. We have a felony assault with intent to murder on the judicial segment out of Detroit. Looks like disposition, it says FD. Is that an acquittal? GTY-ACQTL.
Yeah.
That was an acquittal?
Yeah, I was.
Then count 2 is a felony. That's okay, I'll get them. Assault to do, with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder. Found guilty, count 3, dangerous weapons carrying with unlawful intent, found guilty. Count 4, felony firearm, found guilty. 2016, we have, dismissed case for, felony. It says prison cell phone violations. Count 2, another cell phone violation, attempt felony. And it just says, pled guilty for that one. 2022 out of Macomb, we have, card count forging, felony, says pred nolo. Count 2, identity theft dismissed. 47th District Court, financial transaction device, and this is 2011. That's dismissed. We have a misdemeanor larceny, 200, but less than 1,000, dismissed.
All right. Well, in light of Mr. Brown's prior criminal history, which especially from 2015 on, I do not think that a personal bond is warranted, also because this is a 10 count felony complaint. I do not think that a personal bond is warranted. I'm going to order a bond in the amount of $25,000 cash or surety. I'm also ordering the following conditions. We're to have no contact with Jordan Bozo, Michael Canner, or Jacob Smith.
Okay.
You're not to return to any Home Depot, Lowe's, or Tractor Supply location. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. I am placing you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you must contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Your phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Mr. Brown, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Do.
All right. Do you have any questions?
I do not.
All right. Just so you're aware, your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 48th District Court in Bloomfield Hills.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Brown, that's all for today. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, officer.
Okay, so obviously you can't contact any of those people, which I'm assuming you probably don't have really anyway. So
Good morning.
Good morning.
Is it Sergeant or Detective? What do we have on?
Lieutenant Bradley. Lieutenant Bradley.
All right, perfect. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13066, the people versus Emmanuel Martin Starks. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Lieutenant, can I have you raise your right hand? And solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, I will.
All right, you're under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Lieutenant Mark Bradley with the Wixom Police Department. And Your Honor, on February 16th of this year, at approximately 8:28 p.m., officers were dispatched to 28639 South Wixom Road, which is a Longhorn Steakhouse here in the city of Wixom, for a disturbance. Upon arrival, they learned the following: an employee by the name of Emmanuel Martin Starks Was upset about something, and at one point, purposefully broke a number of dishes or plates that belonged to the restaurant. Destroyed them, smashed them on the ground. The total of those were over $1,000, but less than $20,000. Also during this incident, the manager of the restaurant, a Ms. Johnson, attempting to calm Mr. Starks down, and at one point he took a freezer door, threw it open and hit her in the face with that, which hit her in the face and also damaged the door as well. So that would add to the value of the MDOP, and it would be the simple assault that occurred to Ms. Johnson. Also, it should be noted that the restaurant itself was occupied by a number of customers, and during Mr. Starks' incident, he had disturbed the peace of the people who were enjoying their evening out at the restaurant. So therefore, we ask that the warrant for MDOP over 1,000 less than 20,000, the assault on Ms. Johnson, and the disturbing the peace be authorized.
All right, the court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charges. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything you'd like to note regarding bond right now, or do you want to wait till the arraignment?
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever the court would decide. He does have another warrant outstanding out of East Point. I don't know the status on that as far as pickup or not, but it does apparently show a history of not responding to the courts.
All right. All right, and Mr. Starks is there right now, right?
I'll grab it right now if you're ready, sir.
Okay, ready when you are. Thank you.
So I'll see you in the same place. Your Honor, let's just start.
Good morning, sir. You are Emmanuel Starks, is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Mr. Starks, before we get started, I've been informed that you do not want to speak to an attorney. Is that correct?
No, I didn't really think that it was really that serious, so I didn't.
All right. Well, I cannot be an attorney for you. So if you have any legal questions, I will not be able to answer them. Just so you're aware, you are facing one felony count that is punishable up to 5 years and or $10,000 in fines and costs. So this certainly is serious. I cannot force you to speak to an attorney by any means, but if you have any legal questions, okay.
So I guess I will
All right.
talk to an attorney.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you into a breakout room, give you a few minutes to talk to our court-appointed attorney, and then we'll move forward. Okay.
Okay.
Your Honor, will that take place now, or do I need to bring him back into the interview room?
I can do either. I can just put you guys into a breakout room with the attorney right now on my end, and then if that's okay with you.
Absolutely. I'll close the door so there's privacy.
Okay.
You're able to leave that, knock on this door, okay?
Oh wait, you said what?
You guys are done speaking, knock on this door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, recalling prosecutor order number 24-13066, the People versus Emmanuel Martin Starks. This is the time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Martin Starks, Emmanuel Martin Starks, for today's hearing. I did advise him of his rights, Judge. I also advised Mr. Starks of the charges against him as well as the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Going to waive any reading, stand on mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Starks. Mr. Starks, it's my understanding that your employment was terminated following this alleged incident. Is that correct?
Yes, but nobody told me I was terminated though. They just told me to leave.
All right. Do you have any other employment, any other jobs that you work?
No, that was my only one.
All right.
But I do want to say something though, if I get
No,
a
sir,
chance to speak.
sir, don't say anything about the case, please. Exercise your right to be silent.
Yeah, Mr. Starks, everything that we say right now is being recorded, so I don't want you to say anything about the case because I don't want it to be used against you later. It's for your own protection, okay? All right, I am going to appoint an attorney for you moving forward. Counsel Wojcik, the state on behalf of your client regarding bond.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. My client's 25 years of age. He's been living in Ogany Street in Redford for the last 7 years or so. He's a lifelong resident of Michigan, the metropolitan Detroit area. He's not on probation or parole. He's got strong ties to the community, Judge. Obviously, he's not going to be going back to Longhorn Steakhouse anytime soon, Judge. Having said that, I'd ask for a personal bond or nominal cash bond. He will appear as directed, Judge.
Lieutenant, are you on with us?
I'm here, Your Honor.
You mentioned an outstanding warrant.
He's got a warrant through East Point. They've actually asked us to advise and release on that. I believe it was a traffic warrant or FTA.
All right. All right, and I do not see any other prior criminal history, except for, looks like one driving while license suspended back in 2020. Is that what you have as well, Lieutenant?
I believe that's all I saw, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, well, given Mr. Stark's minimal criminal history, and I don't see, well, obviously we do have the outstanding warrant. What I'm going to do is order bond in the amount of $500 cash or surety. Also ordering the following conditions. You are to have no contact with Aaron Johnson. You are not to return to Longhorn Steakhouse. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten Aaron Johnson or any other witness. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. I am going to place you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you need to contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive later this morning. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. So, Mr. Starks, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I do have.
I do not have your next. I'm sorry?
I do have one. I do have one, but I don't. know if I can ask it though. I mean, if I do try to go find another job, which I'm gonna have to do, they're gonna ask me if I'm a felon or not. I mean, I don't.
Sir, you haven't been convicted of anything right now, so this, you know.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say as well. Mr. Starks, I don't have your next court date in front of me, so if you post bond, make sure you call the 52-1 District Court here in Novi and find out when your next court date is, and your court-appointed attorney will be reaching out to you probably in the next week or so, okay?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Starks, it's all for your day. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, John.
Keep up with $500. Keep up.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Detective. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. I've got a lot of swear tos in front of me, so I just need to figure out which one or ones you have.
I got you. I've got Matthew Tovar.
Okay. Is that the only one?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13065, the people versus Matthew Thomas Tovar. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, could I have you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do, sir.
All right, you're under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Detective John Macklin with Waterford Police. On 2/17 at 0140 hours, Waterford officers observed a red Ford Mustang at 2200 Dixie Highway in Waterford. Officer White recognized the vehicle, who commonly drives it, as Matthew Tovar. Officers made contact with Matthew, who was in the driver's seat. Matthew was placed under arrest for his multiple warrants that were confirmed in lien. While exiting his vehicle, Matthew uttered there was crack in the vehicle. Officers observed a burnt glass pipe that was on the driver's seat in plain view. A wrapper containing a white rock was then found in the center console. Officers also found an aluminum cap with a liquid substance beneath the radio. The white rock was field tested for cocaine, and the liquid was tested positive for oxycodone. Sir.
All right. All right, the court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charge. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything you'd like to note regarding bond?
No, sir. He has multiples in the past. He's got pretty extensive CCH.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you. We're going to do the arraignment here later this morning, I believe. So, or early this afternoon. You're more than welcome to join us. Otherwise, we're all set.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you. Same to you. Good morning, Detective. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
I can. I've got a few swear to files in front of me. So which one or ones do you have?
I have Christina Parra.
Okay. All right. So Parra and co-defendant is, no, that's not co-defendant. Let me see. Do you have just Parra? Is that the only one?
Yep, just Parra. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13049, the people versus Christina Alexandria Parra. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, can I have you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Sure, I do.
All right, you are under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Detective Nick Bohan with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. On February 15th of 2024, deputies were dispatched to 9900 Dartmouth Road, located in Independence Township, Oakland County of Michigan, for a domestic violence call. Deputies arrived on scene and made contact with the caller, Scott Prara, who stated that he was assaulted by his wife, Christina Prara. Scott stated that Christina woke Scott up in the middle of the night because she was angry that he had smoked her cigarettes. And then during the argument, Christina bit Scott on the arm, leaving marks on his arm. Christina stated that she told deputies that she was arguing with her husband, and she was mad at her husband because he smoked her cigarettes. And she was trying to look for new cigarettes in his nightstand, and he prevented her from doing so, so she bit him in the arm. At this point, deputies placed Christina under arrest for domestic violence and transported her to Oakland County Jail. Oakland County Prosecutor's Office did issue domestic violence case.
All right, the court finds the probable cause has been established related to the submitted charge. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else that you'd like to note regarding bond?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you. We're going to do the arraignment later this morning here. You're more than welcome to join us. Otherwise, we're all set.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Take care of yourself.
Yep. You too. Bye.
Thank you. Morning, Detective. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, Judge. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Doing well. Thank you. Looks like we just have Mr. Stovall. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
All right. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13039, the people versus Michael Jerome Stovall. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, can I have you raise your right hand and let me know when you've done so?
I've done so.
All right. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, yes.
All right. You're under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Matthew Morrison. On 2/15 of 2024, net detective served a search warrant at 11 City Line in the city of Pontiac. Upon entry into the residence, detectives detained Michael Stovall and Bianca Trammell. Stovall, who was listed in the search warrant, during the search of the residence in the upstairs master bedroom bathroom, detectives located 0.2 grams of a purple rocky substance that field tested positive for fentanyl. That was on the windowsill underneath a digital scale along with a razor blade. Next to the toilet, in the toilet brush holder, detectives located a knotted plastic bag containing a white powdery substance that weighed approximately 2 grams. That substance was field tested, which resulted in a positive test for the presence of cocaine. Detectives also located in the master bedroom a pair of Twizzler-colored socks. Inside the socks, $2,200 in cash were recovered. Also, a teal and silver Taurus 9mm handgun was located in the closet inside a bag that was filled with clothes. Detectives also located 2 digital scales in the kitchen, several plastic baggies in the basement, 9mm ammunition, 2 extra loaded handgun magazines, and correspondence to Stovall's name in the home. Stovall was advised of his Miranda rights, to which he stated he understood and agreed to speak to detectives on scene. Stovall admitted to touching the handgun within the past 48 to 72 hours and confirmed that he knew he was a convicted felon from a previous delivery, manufacturing, controlled substance conviction. There was no user paraphernalia located. Stovall also stated that he does not use drugs, has never used drugs. The only thing that he does is marijuana from time to time.
All right. The court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charges. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else that you'd like to note regarding bond?
Your Honor, I would just ask, with this, he's got a prior delivery manufacturing under 50 controlled substance, cocaine, heroin, or other narcotic. I would just take that into consideration. There were no children present at the home. They were at school, but there are 3 minor children that do live in the home as well. And these controlled substances that were recovered were accessible if they were to know the location of them that was accessible, they could grab that. So I would just ask the court to take that into recommendation. But as far as that, there's no other recommendations.
Okay. All right. I will make a note of those things. Obviously, you're more than welcome to join us for the arraignment. We're going to do it later this morning. But otherwise, we're all set.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, Detective. Same to you. Good morning, Detective.
Morning. Sorry about that. That wouldn't let me start it there.
No problem at all. How are you today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Looks like we have Austin Jones and then Janisa Brewer and Jonas Taylor. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you mind, do you have a preference on which order we call them?
Whatever you got in front of you, I'm good with either.
All right. Let's do Jones first.
Okay.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13064, the people versus Austin Jones. Just the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, can I have you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. You're under oath. Please state your full name for the record, and you may proceed when you're ready.
Detective Adam Stoyak, Oakland County Sheriff's Office. On 2/16/2024, deputies were dispatched to 118 Baldwin and Pontiac, reference an assault. They made contact with the victim, Tina Keith. She stated she was approached by a male later identified as Austin Jones. Mr. Jones solicited her for sex, at which point an argument ensued. Mr. Jones stuck his hand on Tina's neck and squeezed, at which point Tina pulled out a pocket knife and Mr. Jones left the area. Deputies were able to confirm this by watching video from a nearby party store, which showed Austin Jones put his hand around Tina's neck. Deputies made contact with Mr. Jones. He denied the altercation occurring. Based on the video and the witness statement, Mr. Jones was taken into custody and he's currently in custody at the jail.
All right. The court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charge, so I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else you'd like to note regarding bond?
I'll leave that to your discretion, sir.
All right. Perfect. All right. Now for Ms. Brewer and Ms. Taylor. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13017, the people versus Jonas Marquise Taylor and Janisa Cheyenne Brewer. This is the date and time set for a swear to. Detective, you were previously sworn in. You may consider yourself still sworn, and you may proceed when you're ready.
On 2/16/2024, detectives from Pontiac's DPU unit were conducting surveillance in a known narcotic area in Pontiac near the residence of 36 North Merrimack. That residence is known for illegal drug use, arrests involving individuals with warrants, drug overdoses, and other criminal activity. Detectives observed a silver SUV enter the driveway of 36 North Merrimack. Once it left the driveway, detectives ran the license plate, which came back no insurance. A traffic stop was conducted. Detectives made contact with the driver, Jonas Williams, a passenger, Janisa Brewer. While speaking with Janisa, they opened the door. They observed strings of steel wool, which is consistent with crack cocaine, sandwich baggies, loose sandwich baggies all over the ground and in the door pocket. On making contact with Mrs. Brewer, in her purse, they located a knotted baggie containing a white substance, suspected positive for cocaine. Brewer's insurance card was also located inside of the purse. While searching Miss Brewer, they located a large baggie with a significant amount of drugs, which is located on her person. It ended up being around 40 grams of crack cocaine and then 6 grams of heroin. When speaking with Miss Brewer, she stated that Mr. Taylor handed her the drugs as detectives were stopping her and told her to conceal it on her person because detectives would not search her. Both were taken into custody. They're currently in custody at the jail. And it looks like it was 40 grams of crack cocaine, another 4 grams of crack cocaine, and the 6 grams of heroin were located on Miss Brewer.
All right, the court finds that probable cause has been established related to the submitted charges relative to each defendant. I am signing the complaint and authorizing the warrant. Is there anything else that you'd like to know regarding bond?
Yeah, there was a fairly significant amount of drugs found in that vehicle and on Miss Brewer. Mr. Taylor's got a pretty significant criminal history. I mean, it's multiple pages of convictions and various charges here. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
for in regards to bonds.
All right, I will make note of that. Obviously, you are more than welcome to join us for the arraignments on these cases. We're going to do them later this morning. Otherwise, we're all set.
Thank you, sir. What was your name? I just wanted to throw it in my report.
It's Ellwanger, ELLWANGER.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. Same to you. All right. Who was the last person you were speaking with?
Darius Nance. It's a 2 defendant matter. Box and Nance. Mr. Nance is in the box. So.
All right. That was good. That was good.
Worst attempt at humor, but it's best I can do it.
I appreciate it. That was good. All right. Let's. Now calling case number 24-000909, the People versus Darius Delonte Nance. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes. Good morning, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mr. Nance for today's hearing. Judge, I did advise Mr. Nance of his rights. I also advised him of the charges against him, as well as the maximum penalties. He will. I think he's going to hire his own attorney, I believe, Judge. So, having said that, I'd waive the reading, stand and mute his charge, and ask that you recall and set aside any warrants.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Nance. Sir, are you asking for court-appointed counsel, or do you plan on retaining your own attorney?
As of right now, I'm going to use our family lawyer, Randall Upshaw. I'm going to use him, and I'm going to reach out to him and try to get everything situated.
Okay. The only thing I'm thinking is I don't want you to not have an attorney if something were to happen. So
yes.
I think what I'm going to do is appoint an attorney for you. And then if Mr. Upshaw decides, if you decide to move forward with him, that's fine. He can file a substitution.
Yes, sir.
But that way, at least you'll have an attorney moving forward, okay?
Understood. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, counsel, as it relates to bond, we'll object to state on behalf of your client.
My client's 32 years of age, Judge. He has three kids. He's been in his current location for 5 years. He's got long-term ties to the community. He works as an auto broker. He also is doing some contract work for DTE. Just got accepted into their internship program, Judge. I don't think he's a flight risk. I'm not aware. He's not on probation or parole that I'm aware of, or has any extensive criminal history. I'm asking for a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
All right. Well, I have reviewed the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Mr. Nance. I do see that he has looks like 3 prior convictions, and it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outstanding bench warrants. 2 out of the
Your Honor.
38th District Court, 1 out of the 36th, 1 out of the 33rd, 1 out of the 40th, and 1 out of the 64B.
Your Honor, may I speak, please, for a second?
Yes, but just, I don't want
Do
you
you-
to say anything about this case because everything you
No.
say is being recorded and I don't want it to be used.
Yes,
against
sir. Sir,
Understood. It's nothing about this case. I just wanted to let you know that the warrants and stuff that you are talking about, they're really old. They're from 2012 when I was going back to school from college. And they're also traffic tickets. I'm actually going through a program within Warlow called Operation Drive, and we already started tackling those things because in order for me to complete my thing for DTE, I have to obtain my full driver's license, and we already been on it and getting that under control. And I will obtain my license on the 22nd of this month. So I do know about those, and we already made arrangements for those. They're also out very old. So I don't want you to think that I'm at risk of missing court or anything like that. I'm on my stuff, and I have a family, and I also take care of my grandparents that's in hospice right now. So I have no reason to run or not miss court.
Are you currently on probation out of the 44th District Court?
No, sir. Not on probation for anything. I don't even really have a criminal history, just traffic stuff.
All right. Well, obviously the bench warrants are still outstanding, but I am going to give you the benefit of the doubt related to that program you're doing in the 44th.
Yes, sir.
With that said, of course, because the warrants are still outstanding, what I'm going to do is order a bond in the amount of $5,000 cash or surety, but I will allow a 10% provision. Mr. Nance, just so you're aware, I mean, if you do post the $500 here, I'm not
Yes,
sure
sir.
if those warrants are still hold warrants, so I don't know if they're going to keep you or transfer you on those.
Yes, sir.
Just so you're aware, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I'm also ordering the following conditions. You're to have no contact with Rudolph Box. You're not to return to Sarah Ford, located at Rochester Hills, Michigan. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately
sir.
notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number.
Yes, sir.
I am going to place you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you need to contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them, and their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive.
Yes, sir.
Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Nance, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Understood, sir.
Okay, do you have any questions?
Can you repeat the bond again, the number?
It's 5,000 cash or surety, and I am allowing a 10% provision.
Yes, sir.
All right. Just so you're aware, your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 52-3 District Court in Rochester.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Nance, that's all for today. I wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate you.
You can step
You can,
out, sir.
let the deputies know you're done.
You can actually.
Morning, ma'am. What is your name?
Diamond Davis.
Number 23-002527, the People versus Diamond, Tierra Davis. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P 46892, on behalf of Ms. Davis for today's hearing. I did meet with Ms. Davis. I advised her of her rights. And I also advised her of the charges against her as well as the maximum penalties. She will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Waive the reading standard and is charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Ms. Davis. Ma'am, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Okay.
All right, counsel, as it relates to bond, we'll just state on behalf of your client.
Judge, she's 30 years of age. She's a lifelong resident of Michigan. She's not on probation or parole. She has strong family contacts here. She did obtain her bachelor's degree, Judge. I'm asking you to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond with respect to this matter.
All right. Well, I will note that I did review the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Ms. Davis. You can see that she has 4 prior convictions, and she also has 4 outstanding warrants. One's a civil warrant, 5th district court, but the others are out of the 46th district court, the 52-3 district court, and the 43rd. So based on Ms. Davis's prior failures to appear, I do not think that a personal bond is warranted. What I'm going to do is order bond in the amount of $7,500 cash or surety. I will allow a 10% provision. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You are to have no contact with Kelly Davis. You shall not. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten Kelly Davis or any other witness. You shall personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You shall not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You shall immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You will not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. You will submit to random testing, which will include 1 ETG per week, as well as 1 controlled substance urinalysis test per week. Pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you must contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. And their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Ms. Davis, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
All right, your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 52-3 District Court in Rochester. All right, Ms. Davis, that's all for today. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You can step up.
You're done.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. What is your name?
Good morning. My name is Christina Para.
All right. Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13049, the People versus Christina Alexandria Para. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Ms. Para for today's hearing. I did meet with Ms. Para. I did advise of her rights. I also advised her of the charges against her, as well as the maximum penalties. She will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing, Judge. Waive the reading, stand and mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Ms. Para. Ma'am, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Okay.
All right. Counsel, as it relates to bond, we'll check the state on behalf of your client.
Client's 50 years of age. She has 2 children, Judge. ages 16 and 13. Has no criminal history. She indicated to me, Judge. She works as a workers' compensation specialist, Judge. She does have her job waiting for her. I'm asking for a personal bond given the lack of criminal history and the nature of this charge. I don't think she's a flight risk. She will need a one-time police assist if she's not allowed to go back to the.
All right. Well, I have reviewed the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Ms. Para. I also conducted the swear-to on this matter earlier this morning. It does not appear that Ms. Para has any prior criminal history or prior failure to appear history. So I do not think that she is a flight risk. Based on her lack of criminal history, I do think that a personal bond is warranted. So I'm going to order bond in the amount of $10,000 personal recognizance. So Ms. Para, you do not need to post any money and you will be released. But know that if you fail to abide by any of your bond conditions, that bond could be forfeited and you may owe $10,000 to the court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, your other bond conditions are as follows. You're to have no contact with Scott Para. You shall not return. I understand that is your, and so I will allow you to go back there one time with a police officer to gather your belongings. But after that, you'll have to reside elsewhere so long as this case is pending. You understand that?
I do understand that, Your Honor.
All right. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten Scott Para. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court, and you will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. I am going to order that Monday, at some point on Monday, you have to call the 52-2 District Court in Clarkston and provide them with the new address of where you're going to be residing, okay?
Okay, when do I do that, Your Honor?
You have to do it at some point on Monday. Obviously, the court's not going to be open today or tomorrow, so make sure you do it before the court closes on Monday.
Judge, are they open Monday?
Oh, you're right, because it's the holiday, isn't it? So Tuesday.
So I'm sorry, Your Honor. I called the district court and let them know of my new address. Is that what?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, call the 52-2 District Court in Clarkston and tell them that you were just arraigned and that you have to provide a new address of where you're going to be living, okay?
Okay. What are my next steps, Your Honor?
Let me get through. There's a couple more bond conditions that I have to review, and then I don't have your next court date in front of me. So when you call on Tuesday, you'll want to find out when your next court date is. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, the last bond conditions that you have: you shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. So, Ms. Para, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, I just don't know what to do from going on forward from here.
Well, I can't be an attorney for you, but I can tell you, obviously, you're going to be released today. You'll have to get in contact with, I don't know if the Sheriff's Department can help you. Probably Oakland County Sheriff's Department, have an officer go with you back to your house, gather your belongings, and then you'll have to reside elsewhere. And you will have an attorney that'll contact you probably in the next week to 2 weeks to go over your next steps.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay. So I'm sorry for all the questions. I'm just really nervous and I really don't know what to do. So when I go back to my jail cell, what do I do from that point on?
Well, you're going to be released at some point today. It's probably going to be later this afternoon by the time all the paperwork, discharge paperwork is done. But That's ultimately really up to the deputies. You'll go back to your jail cell and wait there until they bring you up to be released.
Okay, and then I just call someone to come and pick me up, correct?
Yeah, that's going to be up to you. I don't know if the deputies can help you and take you back to your house. I'm not sure. That's going to be up to you to figure out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That's all for today, Ms. Perry. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. What is your name?
Carrie Thomas.
Now calling case number 22-000337, the People versus Carrie Corinne Thomas. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P46892 on behalf of Mrs. Corin. Judge, I had a chance to speak to my client. I advised her of her rights. I also advised her of the charges against her, as well as the maximum penalty. She will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Waive the written standard immunity, ask that she recall and set aside the bench warrant.
All right. The court will waive formal reading. Enter plea of mute on behalf of Ms. Thomas. I will recall the bench warrant. It looks like this was a failure to appear for a show cause hearing in front of Judge Fabrizio. Looks like the warrant was issued on January 25th. At that time, Judge Fabrizio ordered bond in the amount of $250 cash or surety. It looks like Ms. Thomas currently owes $418. I'm typically inclined to follow the judge of records bond. So in this case, I am going to order bond in the amount of $250 cash or surety. I'm also going to order that you shall personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You shall not leave the state of Michigan. I'm sorry. Go ahead, counsel.
I did want to address bond, if I may.
Go ahead. I apologize.
So I know it's 250, Judge. However, she's homeless. She lost track of the court. She wasn't getting mail at the time. This is all largely financial, probably entirely at this time is my guess, Judge. So I'm asking you to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond under those circumstances.
Ms. Thomas, where do you currently reside? I know your attorney said you're homeless, but is there anywhere that you're staying?
Not at the moment, no.
When was the last time that you lived at the Beach Street address?
Over a year.
All right, well, the problem is you haven't made any payments at all since you pled guilty back in February of 22. If you had made some payment, any payment at all, I would be more inclined to give you a personal bond, but you haven't done anything. So, counsel, I appreciate the argument, but I am going to order bond in the amount of $250 cash or surety. I'm also going to order that you shall not drive without a valid license. And lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. So, Ms. Thomas, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes.
All right. I don't have your next court date in front of me. You will have to go back in front of Judge Fabrizio and figure out the remaining balance if you're able to post the bond. But that is all for today. So, Ms. Thomas, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can let the deputies know you're done.
I'm done.
Good afternoon, ma'am. What is your name?
Latrice Gasaway.
Now calling case number 23-002882, the people versus Latrice and Gasaway. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Jeffrey Glazer, P. 46892, on behalf of Ms. Gasaway for today's hearing. Did meet with her. I did advise of her rights. I also advised her the charges against her as well as the maximum penalties. She will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing, Your Honor. Waive any reading, stand or immune, and ask that you recall and set aside the bench warrant.
All right, the court will waive for more reading. Enter plea of mute on behalf of Ms. Gasaway. I will recall the bench warrant. Ms. Gasaway, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted.
Yes.
The only thing is it doesn't have really much information on it. Are you currently employed?
Yes, I'm a med tech at Brookdale.
All right. Approximately how much do you make per month?
Per month, I'll say
Just an estimate. Doesn't have to be exact.
about $3,200 a month, I believe.
All right. Do you have any fixed expenses like car payment, rent, mortgage, anything like that?
Yes, I have a car note. Yes.
All right. And approximately how much do you pay on that note per month?
$777 for my insurance plus my car note. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Counsel, as it relates to bond, what would you like to state on behalf of your client?
Judge, she's essentially a lifelong resident of the area. She's 29 years of age. She does have a really good job at MedTech. She works there dispensing medication to the patients there. This was a traffic stop. She wasn't aware of the warrant, Judge. This is largely, I believe, financial as well. I'm asking the court to consider a personal bond or a nominal bond, Judge. She will appear as directed.
All right. Looks like Ms. Gasaway was previously arraigned on October 2nd, 2023. She was given a $1,500 personal bond. The matter was set for pretrial. That was to occur on October 16th in front of Judge Reeds. When Ms. Gasaway failed to appear, Judge Reeds issued the bench warrant and ordered bond in the amount of $250 cash or surety. I'm typically inclined to follow the judge of records bond. And in this case, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's over 20 outstanding bench warrants. So typically I'm inclined to follow the bond, but actually in this case, I think bond needs to be increased because I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
Judge, she's trying to clear up all those warrants and leave it as set by the judge. She is trying to take care of all these warrants, Judge. She was arraigned in Troy, I think earlier today, she indicated to me, or yesterday.
Yes.
You want to say, you can't talk about the case. If you want to say something about the bond, go ahead, but don't talk about the facts of the case, please.
No, I was talking about when I did go in for court. I thought when I went in for court that they threw it out because when I went to court, they arrested me saying about a warrant for somewhere else that I've been handling. I think it was Beverly Hills or something. So I didn't even know this case for nobody was even still standing because I thought the judge had cleared it out. And then he had, he was telling me that, I don't know if he was telling me it was a personal or if everything was okay with this case. But then I know I end up walking into court trying, on my court day for that case. And then they end up locking me up saying I had a warrant for Beverly Hills. And that's what I'm handling now with the Beverly Hills case. So I don't, even remember them even
Well, it
telling
looks
me.
like
that I
there's
had-
an outstanding bench warrant for an OWI out of the 46th District Court from failed to appear in October of 23. And then you just, looks like you
That's what I
just
said.
picked up another driving while license suspended out of the 36th District Court on January 16th of this year.
Yeah, that's what I've been handling the Beverly Hills case. Like I've been having to call a number and go and report and drop and everything. But that, I started over doing that when I came to walk in for the Novi case. My judge, he had, I had a lawyer, a court appointed lawyer there, and then they had told me that case was fine, but he still had to detain me because Beverly Hills had wanted me. And I ended up having, that's why I'm going to court now for Beverly Hills. And they made me call a number every day, to call a color, to drop, and everything like that.
All right. Look, I typically follow the judge of records bond. In this case, Judge Reed's ordered bond in the amount of $250 cash for surety. I will follow that. An order bond in the amount of $250. Now, Ms. Gasaway, I don't know what the status of these other bench warrants are. I don't know if they're going to hold you on them or if they're going to release you if you're able to post. That's ultimately going to be up to the different police agencies that have these. So as far as this case goes, I'm just going to order that you shall personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You shall not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You shall immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You must contact the 52-1 District Court and get signed up with their bond compliance division within 24 hours of your release. You shall not drive without a valid driver's license. And lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. So, Ms. Gasaway, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't have your next court date in front of me. So when you call to get signed up with the bond compliance division, make sure you find out when your next court date is, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Ms. Gasaway, that's all for today. I wish you the best of luck.
All right.
Good afternoon. What is your name?
Janice Brewer.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13017, the People versus Janisa Cheyenne Brewer. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counselor, your appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. For the record, Charlie Glazer, P 46892, on behalf of Janisa Brewer for today's hearing. To meet with her, I advised her rights as well as the charges against her and the maximum penalty. She will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing, Judge. Waive any reading, stand or mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading, enter a plea of mute on behalf of Ms. Brewer. Ma'am, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
All right.
All right, counsel, as it relates to bond, what would you like to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge. My client's 20 years of age. She's not on probation or parole. She's a long-term resident of Michigan. She also, I believe, works. I think she has strong ties here, Judge. I'm asking you to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
Ms. Brewer, do you have any prior criminal history?
No, sir. I'm just moved back, trying to get my diploma.
All right, where do you currently live?
I just moved back, like fresh.
All right, well, I will note I did conduct a swear-to on this matter earlier this morning. Obviously, it says 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver, manufacture. Given the amount of drugs that were confiscated, I do have to look out for the safety of the public, and I don't think that a personal bond is warranted. What I'm going to do is order a bond in the amount of $7,500, cash or surety. I will allow 10% provision. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You're to have no contact with Jonas Marquise Taylor.
Yes.
You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. You will submit to random PBTs and or urinalysis upon request. And I am placing you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you must contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Ms. Brewer, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes.
All right. Your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 50th District Court in Pontiac. All right. Ms. Brewer, do you have any questions?
Yes and no, but I won't ask them. I'll be okay.
All right. Well, if you post bond, make sure you make it to your next court date. Otherwise, you're all set for today, Ms. Brewer. Wish you the best of luck.
Wait, I'm leaving.
Yep, your arraignment's done. So if you're able to post bond, you'll get out. If not, you'll have to wait in custody until your next hearing.
All right.
Good afternoon. What is your name?
Rudolph Marion Box.
Now calling case number 24-000910, the People versus Rudolph, Marion Box. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P. 46892. On behalf of Mr. Box, Judge, I did meet with Mr. Box. I advised him of his rights as well as the charges against him, the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Waive any readings, data mute is charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Box. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Counsel, as it relates to bond, we'll just state on behalf of your client.
Client's a long resident of the Detroit area, Judge. He does work construction. He's actually a lifelong resident. I believe his daughter is pregnant. He has custody of his children. He needs to get back to help take care of them. I don't think he's a flight risk, Your Honor. I'm asking the court to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
All right. Well, I have reviewed the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Mr. Box. It appears that Mr. Box has 36 prior convictions and also has 1, 2, 3, 4 outstanding bench warrants, one of which is related to charges that are identical to the charges in this matter. Given the prior criminal history and prior failure to appear history, I do not think that a personal bond is warranted or even a nominal bond. I'm going to order bond in the amount of $30,000 cash or surety. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You are to have no contact with Darius Nance. You're not to return to Sarah Ford, located at 2890 South Rochester Road in Rochester Hills. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. I am going to place you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you must contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Mr. Box, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes, sir. I didn't hear how much the bond was.
$30,000 cash or surety.
Wow. 36 cases. Go ahead.
Mr. Box, your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That will be at the 52-3 District Court in Rochester Hills. Mr. Box, that is all for today. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, sir. What is your name?
David Maples.
Now calling case number 22-005573, the People versus David Andrew Maples. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P. 46892, on behalf of Mr. Maples. I did meet with Mr. Maples. I advised him of his rights as well as the charges against him, as well as the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing, Judge. I'd ask that you waive the reading, state immunity, recall, and set aside the bench warrants.
All right, the court will waive formal reading, enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Maples. I will recall the bench warrant. Mr. Maples, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Counsel, as it relates to bond, we'll take the state on behalf of your client.
Client's a lifelong resident of Michigan, Judge. He's 55 years of age, Your Honor. He's not on probation or parole. He just started a new job. He's driving and delivering dumpsters. He has grown children. He has strong ties to the community. I don't think he's a fly risk, Judge. His address has changed. He's no longer in Hip Street. He's in Leonard, Michigan, Judge. Part of the reason why he unfortunately missed the court date, Judge. He wasn't getting notice. I'm asking for a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
Is that 400 Cantley Street? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm going to update your information right now, just so that's done.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, looks like this was previously scheduled for a show cause hearing. That was scheduled for December 4th of 2023. Mr. Maples failed to appear. Judge Asadorian ordered bond in the amount of $1,390. I'm typically inclined to follow the judge's bond, but it looks like all that's left is money owed. So what I'm going to do is order bond in the amount of $1,390, cash or surety, but I will allow a 10% provision.
A 10% provision, meaning that's $130 to get out?
$139, that's correct.
$139. Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Looks like you're previously on, were you on probation for this or no?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to order that you are to personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. Obviously, I already updated your address, so you should be all set in that regard. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Maples, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
I do, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. I don't have your next court date in front of me. So if you post the bond, make sure you call the 52-3 District Court in Rochester and find out when your next court date is, okay?
I will do that. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome, Mr. Maples. That's all for today. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Dude, thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. What is your name?
Matthew Tovar.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13065, the People versus Matthew Thomas Tovar. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P46892. On behalf of Mr. Tovar, I did advise Mr. Tovar of his rights as well as the charges against him, the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney in the next hearing. Waive the reading, stand on mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Tovar. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Counsel, as it relates to bond, will the state on behalf of Mr. Tovar.
Judge McClellan's 38 years of age, lifelong resident of the area. I don't believe he's a flight risk. He's currently homeless, Judge. He's looking for a place to live. I'm asking the court to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond. He does have 6 kids. He'd like to get back in their life.
I will note that I did conduct the swear-to on this matter earlier this morning. I've also reviewed the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Mr. Tovar. It appears that he has 20 prior convictions as an adult. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 other outstanding warrants, including 2 violation of probation warrants out of the 6th Circuit. Therefore, under Michigan Code of Criminal Procedure 765.6a, I cannot give Mr. Tovar a personal bond. Quite frankly, nor do I think that it's warranted in this matter. Given Mr. Tovar's prior criminal history and prior failure to appear history, I would order bond in the amount of $50,000 cash or surety. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You are to personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You shall not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You shall immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. You will submit to random testing, which will include 1 ETG per week and 1 controlled substance urinalysis test per week. I'm placing you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you have to contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Mr. Tovar, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond related to this case?
Yes, I do.
All right. Just so you're aware, your probable cause conference, your next court date is going to be February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 51st District Court in Waterford. Now, I also have case number 23-004556. This is also the, looks like this is arraignment on a bench warrant that was issued back on December 14th of 2023. Counsel, how does Mr. Tovar wish to proceed with this arraignment?
With respect to that matter, Judge, waive the reading, stand in mute as charged. That's recall and set aside the bench warrant.
All right. Court will waive formal reading and enter plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Tovar. Looks like back on December 14th of 2023, Judge Karniak ordered bond in the amount of $2,500. I will also note that it was scheduled for sentencing and a bond violation hearing, and Mr. Tovar failed to appear. So typically, I'm inclined to follow the judge of records bond. I do think that it's warranted in this case. So I'm going to order bond in the amount of $2,500, cash or surety. And then I'm just going to order that all prior bond conditions are reinstated. Mr. Tovar, I don't have your next court date related to this matter. If you are able to post bond in both of these, and I don't know what's going to happen with your other bench warrants if they're going to hold you, but if you are released, make sure you find out when your next court date is in this matter, okay?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Tovar, that's all for today. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, push the door open, sir.
Good afternoon. What is your name?
Jonas Taylor.
Now calling prosecutor order number 24-13017, the People versus Jonas Marquise Taylor. This is the date and time set for arraignment. Counsel, your appearance.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P. 46892, on behalf of Mr. Taylor. Judge, I did meet with him. I did advise him of his rights. I also advised him of the charges against him as well as the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. Waive any reading, stand and mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Taylor. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. I just have one question. Approximately how much do you make per month?
But I get paid every 2 weeks, so probably like 3,000, 15, like up to like every 2 weeks, like 1,400 a week, 2 weeks per week. So like the most I could pay about 3,000 a month if I do all my hours.
All right.
Perfecting lifestyles where I work at. I take care of patients and appointments.
All right. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Okay, no problem. That'll be fine.
Counsel, as it relates to bond, will object the state on behalf of your client.
Yes, Judge, thank you. My client's 40 years of age. He's a lifelong resident of Michigan. He does work at Perfecting Styles, taking care of elderly patients. He's been there for quite some time. That job is in jeopardy if he doesn't get back to it soon. He's not on probation or parole, he tells me, Judge. I'm asking you to consider a personal bond or a nominal cash bond.
All right. Well, I'll note that I did conduct a swear to on this matter earlier this morning. I have reviewed the pretrial services report that was submitted regarding Mr. Taylor. It appears that he has 37 prior convictions as an adult. He does have prior failure to appear history. It looks like he was just discharged from parole back in May of 2022.
Yes. The reason why I have the no appear because I was in jail when I was supposed to go to court, so they found it as if I didn't appear.
Well, you also have a outstanding bench warrant out of the 43rd District Court.
Oh yeah, $702 for personal bond. I paid that back in 2007. I got my license, and then they said, "Well, you got your license, but you still was supposed to pay the I forgot what it's called." But I never got nothing in the mail for that. I got my license, was driving fine and dandy for like 2, 3, a lot of years, and all of a sudden they said I owe that for Ferndale, but I paid Ferndale $500. But they said, when in order to get your license back, you just got to pay a certain amount. So I thought, as soon as I get my license, it's clear all the way. They said, well, you still owe a little bit of money for them. I did not know that until I got pulled over last week. And he said, I got the ticket that says I have a, for this right here. I said, I didn't never know I had it. So I was supposed to pay it when I get my check yesterday. I didn't get a chance to get my check yet. But I have that $702. I can pay that today.
All right. Well, I can't do anything about the outstanding warrant out of the 43rd. This is just related to this matter.
Okay. That's Ferndale, correct? The 43rd?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Ferndale. Okay. All right.
Well, given Mr. Taylor's extensive criminal history, I don't feel comfortable giving a personal bond, or I don't think that a personal bond is warranted. I will note that during the swear too, I certainly troubled with the amount and type of drugs that were seized, and I do have to look out for the safety of the community. So with that said, I'm going to order bond in the amount of $25,000 cash or surety. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You're to have no contact with Janisa Brewer. You'll personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any alcohol, any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. I am placing you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you have to contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive later today. Lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Okay. Mr. Taylor, do you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 26th at 9 a.m. That'll be at the 50th District Court in Pontiac.
26, 9 a.m. Okay.
Taylor, that is all for today. I wish you the best of luck, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Good afternoon. What is your name?
Lamar Williams.
Now calling case number 24-0129, the People versus Lamar Lorenzo Williams. This is the date and time. Counselor, your appearance.
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. Jeffrey Glazer, P46892, on behalf of Mr. Williams. Judge, did meet with Mr. Williams. I advised him of his rights. I also advised him of the charges against him, as well as the maximum penalties. He will need a court-appointed attorney at the next hearing. I'm asking to waive any reading, stand, and mute as charged.
All right, the court will waive formal reading and enter a plea of mute on behalf of Mr. Williams. Sir, I did receive the request for court-appointed attorney form that you filled out and submitted. Based on your representations, I do find that you are indigent, so I will appoint an attorney for you moving forward, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. Counsel, as it relates to bond, what would you like to state on behalf of your client?
My client's 40 years of age. He's single. He has 8 kids. Judge, he's responsible for his children. He's a lifelong resident of the area. I don't think he's a flight risk, Your Honor. I will indicate to the court judge that he works full-time at Arraigned Manufacturing in Pontiac as an assembly operator. He's been there for quite some time. That job is waiting for him. However, it's in jeopardy. Most importantly, Judge, this appears to be a rewrite. I don't know if it's a second rewrite or first or second rewrite, but this was previously dismissed, Judge. He did appear in court. I don't think he's a flight risk. He's eager to get this resolved once again, Judge. And I'm asking that you impose the original bond, which I believe was a personal bond, Judge. Is that all correct, sir?
Yes, sir. I have the original. I had a personal bond. It got dismissed January 11th, and now all of a sudden they rewrote it. I was out on a personal bond for 2 months.
He's not going to go anywhere, Judge. His whole life is here.
Mr. Williams, are you aware that you have an outstanding bench warrant from the front of the court?
Yes, I talked to my probation officer yesterday, and I get my first check Monday, and she told me to go down there and see friend of the court and pay him. So I know after I talked to y'all, I got to see friend of the court, and I was gonna let her know that, and it seemed like it wasn't gonna be a problem. I seen my probation officer yesterday, and she informed me. Actually, she didn't know. I informed her, and she just told me, go take care of it. I said, I get my check Monday, and she said, well, go take care of it, and I'll see you in March. I just got this case dismissed January 11th. Like, it's just, and I lost my job then, and now my other job is finna be in jeopardy.
All right, well, the only issue is that you have 2 felony convictions in the last 5 years. So under Michigan Code of Criminal Procedure 765.6A, you're not eligible for a personal bond. What I'm going to do is order bond in the amount of $10,000 cash or surety. I will allow a 10% provision. I'm also ordering the following conditions. You're to have no contact with Sonia Dirk or any other witness. You shall not return to 57 Firelight in Pontiac, Michigan. You will not assault, beat, molest, or in any way verbally harass, intimidate, or threaten Sonia Dirk or any other witness. You will personally appear for any and all future court proceedings. You will not leave the state of Michigan without permission of the court. You will immediately notify the court in writing of any change to your address or telephone number. You shall not possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons. You shall refrain from using any form of THC, marijuana, illegal drugs, or abusing any legally prescribed medication. I am placing you under pretrial services supervision, which means if you post bond within 24 hours of your release, you have to contact pretrial services and get enrolled with them. Their phone number will be listed on the bond form that you receive. You shall obtain a GPS tether prior to your release. And lastly, no new criminal offenses or activity. Mr. Williams, you understand the terms and conditions of your bond?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your next court date, your probable cause conference is scheduled for February 27th at 1:30 p.m. That'll be at the 50th District Court in Pontiac.
Which judge, sir?
I do not know. I don't have that information in front of me. Unfortunately, I just have your next court date. So Mr. Williams, that is all for today. I wish you the best of luck.